Following the morning's sorties, the pilots of the IAF were enjoying a well-earned lunch when the alert sirens at Ramat David Air Force Base began blaring. Their actions had stirred the hornet's nest as Israeli ground-based radar detected Syrian, Lebanese and Egyptian fighters taking to the skies in huge numbers, corroborated by the radars on board the USS Theodore Roosevelt. Upon receiving the intelligence briefing, Commander Uper pinched himself to make sure this wasn't another nightmare. Not this time. Every jet capable of launching a missile was scrambled in the hastily conceived Operation Turtle, which would see all available squadrons create a perimeter around Ramat David, believed to be the target of the incoming attack. Devil 1 were the first to make their presence felt, intercepting a heavy bomber and its escorts passing south of the carrier. However, to the north, a lone Lebanese pilot had made his way across the ocean and destroyed one of the American S-3s known as Thomas the Tanker. The pilot then proceeded to evade 9 SM-2 missiles launched by the carrier's escort fleet, and went on to return home to Beirut. Inland over the Sea of Galilee, Dodge 1 intercepted a lone MiG-29. The pilot was killed, but had baited Dodge flight into range of an SA-5 which had so far remained inactive during the conflict, but now claimed 2 kills at over 70 miles. The first wave of fighters arrived to the north and entered the cap zone of Panther flights and made quick work of them, with an assist from one of the remaining members of Dodge 1 who'd sought revengeance for the loss of his flight mates moments earlier. To the south, a wave of fighters and bombers from Egypt pushed towards Dodge 2. A lone Mirage 2000 rushed ahead, trading a kill against the defending Eagles. The stalwart defense of the IAF Eagles and Hawk sites along the coast was enough to force the Egyptians north, directly into the American aviators who'd been rushing to assist. The F-14s of Ford 1 flight launched their long-range Phoenix missiles, expecting to decapitate the Egyptian bombers, but both encountering 100% failure rate as their missiles inexplicably climbed to a great altitude, then fell well short of their targets. Regardless, the Egyptian flights were quickly enveloped from both sides and destroyed. To the north, a second wave of fighters were inbound, but once again quickly repelled by Panther and surviving elements of Dodge 1. At this moment, a sharp-eyed Viper driver from Panther 2 noticed a low-flying 4-ship of Mi-24 Heinz inbound. Fearing the potential for commando insertion, Panther 2 set upon the flight with unbound fury, dispatching all 4 in less than 2 minutes. Further north, unaware they'd lost fighter cover, 4 Iranian C-130 transports approach Israeli airspace, laden with special forces tasked with operations behind enemy lines. The fighters of Colt and Panther engaged the lumbering transports, missing scores of missile shots as the heat seekers failed to follow the relatively cool prop engines of the transports. Before they could be destroyed, one transport was able to deploy an air defense Humvee, known as the Avenger. Living up to its name, the Avenger immediately engaged and destroyed Panther 2-3, who had moments earlier downed its host transport. Panther 1 lead was famished, having been called away from his lunchtime corn muffin to respond to this sortie. Channeling his hunger, he rushed into the fight, engaging with short-range missiles, achieving 6 kills. Another Egyptian wave closed in from the south. The U.S. Tomcats once again set out to engage the strategic bombers, and were again frustrated by the failure of their Phoenix missiles, and so opted to drag the bombers towards the coast and other fighter assets. The Egyptian forces spread up the coast, meeting the combined fighter assets of Dodge 2, Ford 1, Panthers 1 and 2, and the Israeli Hawk sites. With the bulk of the air offensive thwarted, Mission Command ordered fighters to return to base and let the SAM cover dissuade any stragglers. However, to the north, a final 4-ship from Syria pushed 2 remaining Panthers. The Syrian pilots were unaware despite having a numeric advantage. Their targets had both individually already achieved ace-in-a-day status, and showed no signs of slowing. Despite 18 lost pilots across the Israeli and American squadrons, their quick reaction had prevented any serious damage or incursions, and cost the Middle Eastern Coalition 86 aircraft.